Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. So, I don't know if you have seen it, but Martin O'Neill has spoke to the media this afternoon and he basically said it won't be easy, but he let the cat out the bag. Yes, he did. Martin O'Neill confirmed that Daizen Maeda was to go to Germany, to Wolfsburg. Martin O'Neill did say, did I just let something slip that you maybe didn't know? And then he asked if we could cut it out and forget about that he ever said it. But that's the breaking news for today. Daizen Maeda was to leave Celtic. He was to go to Wolfsburg. And for some unknown reason, Celtic and the deal collapsed at the final moment and Daizen did not go. Was it for the fact that Daizen Maeda he knew he was going and he was leaving Celtic? And Martin O'Neill also confirmed that the player was upset about the deal not going through. He then said, is there any news on Daizen Maeda staying until the end of the season? And he said, I don't know. I'll be honest. I could say that I want him here to the end of the season. I could say that he's a fantastic player. But then there's little point in me saying that he's really happy and wants to stay. And then tomorrow morning, he's left the building. He's gone. The words from the manager. The manager also spoke about bringing in new players. He says that we need to bring in several players. I wouldn't expect big money signings. Jasper 1888 says, I'm expecting big money signings in the coming days. I don't think you're going to get big money signings, mate. I don't see it. I don't think that Celtic are in a position to go out and spend 10, 15 million on players to bring in the type of player. Martin O'Neill has already warned that the players that we might bring in may not be much better than the players we've already got, but we need more players in to help what we've got. So do not expect 10, 15 million pound players to come in. Do you think that Daizen will be away in January? Yes, I've said it for a long time. I think that he'll David Seenan, the best tattooist in Central Fife. There's been no contact with the Green Brigade. I think that there's more important things to go on this week than a meeting with the Green Brigade, considering that it's transfer window. Martin O'Neill's just came in. Celtic dealing with fans is a way down the priority order this week. Some people need to take their head out of the sand and have a little bit of a reality check. Martin O'Neill has said that we need players in. Just shows only a few weeks ago, Nancy said Maeda was happy being here and content. Lies, says Michelle. But anyway, in other Celtic news, Martin O'Neill did speak to talkSPORT. You may or may have not heard that, so let's listen to that interview.
Very similar circumstances again. Obviously, the results just recently for the football club haven't been great, but even though it was still a bit of a shock. And I think that really just similar circumstances as before.
Again, Martin, was it a case on your part of no hesitation, or was part of you thinking, no, I've been there, I've done that?
I think a bit of both. In all honesty, Jim, I think that the latter part is something that went through my mind. Yes, been there before. Can you come and resurrect it again? Same sort of thought process, concerned about whether you can win football matches. And mind you, having said that, I've had that there for about 30 or 40 years.
So what was the biggest driver, Martin, for you saying yes to Dermot Desmond again?
Very, very difficult to say no to the man who put me in charge way back 25 years ago. So from that viewpoint, yeah, you mentioned hesitation. Hesitation in the sense, you know what I mean, Jim, that the hesitation is whether you can come back again and win some games. But that'll always be the case.
Martin, after your last interim spell, you rejoined Simon and myself in studio, and you were telling Celtic fans, look, be patient. Stick with Wilfried Nancy. Give him a chance. How do you reflect on what happened to him yesterday?
I think the same, absolutely. I mentioned that I draw the comparison or the parallel with myself when I went to Leicester City and couldn't win a game early on in proceedings. Obviously, the crowd were unsettled, and it's difficult at that stage. You know, I got a little bit of luck. I won a couple of matches away from home in a period of a week. We won two, a midweek game at Charlton and another game at Crystal Palace, and that helped quell things for a while. but it was difficult. And then sometimes it's when things are going badly, it's very, very difficult to pull it round. So I got a little bit of luck along the way, and 8 or 9 games or whatever it was is not very, very long at all. Obviously, I know in this day and age, there's managers the minute they step into a football club have to win immediately. So, but that's that's very, very difficult to do. Someone who comes in doesn't know the players that well. Players have to learn what the manager wants to do. That takes a little bit of time, and that's really unfortunate. But in this day and age, it's instant results.
It is instant results, and Martin O'Neill has said, Tommy says, if Martin wins the league, do we extend past the summer? Martin O'Neill said in his interview today that will not happen. No matter what happens in the league this season, no matter if I lose the league, no matter if I win the league, no matter if I win the double, Martin O'Neill will not be here next season. And he said that himself. He said, I will not be here. He said, you'll see me till the summer, you'll see me till May, and then that's it. I'll definitely not be here next season, and I definitely won't be here for the AGM, which is next season. So that's from Martin O'Neill himself. Nord Celtic, God bless Baz and the One Celtic Fans View family. Thank you for that, mate. It's an interesting time under Martin O'Neill, because Martin O'Neill did say today that he will have to rely on Sean Maloney and Fozzie to listen to. He's going to get ideas from players. Now, Sean Maloney had been working, interestingly enough, Sean Maloney had been working with Tisdale in the background. Did the hierarchy at Celtic have a little bit of forward thinking? Did the hierarchy at Celtic say to Paul Tisdale, listen, we're going to get Sean Maloney working with you. We know he's the pathway manager and he'll take care of the younger players, but when players are coming in, he's just going to work alongside you, just so that you can work in conjunction together to make sure that the whole transfer department and players in, out. Another one, Scott Brown. Scott Brown says that Paul Tisdale was absolutely fantastic for him. Scott Brown's club does have a loan agreement for Scottish players that can come from Celtic to go to Scott Brown and work under Scott Brown. They currently have 2 Celtic players at the moment, youth players. That agreement was put in place by Paul Tisdale and Sean Maloney, confirmed Scott Brown. Now, Martin O'Neill says that Sean Maloney had been working with Paul Tisdale on some signings. Martin O'Neill said that there are a number of positions. We need players, and he didn't just say positions. He said we all know what the positions are. There will be players that we'll need to get in as quick as possible. He did say about the right back that was brought in under Wilfred Nancy. He says, look, he's not had a lot of game time. He was brought in by Wilfred. He himself will need to prove himself to get onto the pitch. It's as simple as that. Players will need to turn up at training. There is no one getting a free pass under Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill says that he might have to have conversations with players to just tell them that they're not good enough for Celtic. But at the same time, he'll have to have conversations with players like Daizen Maeda. Now, he's talking about Daizen Maeda, and he said that, well, we spoke about it at the beginning of the interview, he's not sure. There was disappointment that Daizen didn't go to Wolfsburg, which was shock news to everyone in the press conference today. You could see that everyone went quiet, and Martin O'Neill could tell by the looks on the faces of those journalists in attendance. Have I just let something slip that you didn't know? And one journalist said, perhaps. Martin O'Neill then knew the fact that he had let it slip, that Daizen Maeda was about to leave the club in the summer, and he wasn't too happy. He's going to have a word with Daizen Maeda's agent. He said, though he did say, Martin O'Neill, the time that we have the next press conference, which will be Friday afternoon. There will be a press conference for Friday afternoon for the game this weekend. By that time, the Rangers will have played tonight, and whatever happens with that. Martin O'Neill did say that it's going to be hard. This isn't going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park. And he has told the board that even before he came in, he said that it could be a case of we need as many players in as we can get. Now, people are saying, top quality, big spending, I don't think it will happen. Martin O'Neill will get in a squad of players. He will amass a group of players just to get us over the line and fill positions where we are currently weak at the club. It's Baltic in Glasgow today. It's only 12 degrees here today. Well, it was about 14, 15, but there was a cold wind. But anyway, isn't it good that Martin O'Neill's been given the final say on transfers, even though he's here to the end of the season? Yep. Martin could let slip on all the secrets and they'd instantly be forgiven. I think it's good to have Martin O'Neill back in because it does give you that reality. Do you know, there was a lot of speculation that, you know, we'll give him a 1.5 year deal. And he said, no, just no. It doesn't matter what happens. I could win the double this year. He never said that because Martin O'Neill was a manager that wouldn't come out and say that if I win things. But he said, no matter the outcome of the season, no matter what happens come the end of May, I will not be here next summer. And so what it does do is it gives the board time to get someone else in. Now, the fact that Martin O'Neill has confirmed that Daizen Maeda does or did want away, and he says that we'll be able to tell you in the next press conference. It's an interesting one because are Celtic still going for the same type of player that they were going for before when Wilfred Nancy was in the house? And he said that we need to add to the squad as a matter of urgency. He will know that we need strikers. Martin O'Neill's eager to see that Celtic bring in reinforcements as quickly as possible. It is going to be a difficult window after Wilfred Nancy lasting 33 days. He said that he had a meeting with the players this morning, 10 a.m. at Lennoxtown. He had a meeting with all the players, and they seem in quite a good place, regardless of what's happened over the last 34 days. He said that the players do seem in a fine place. I think that there will be now. There'll be a little bit of thank goodness that he's gone. Thank goodness that Martin O'Neill has returned to the club, and thank goodness that we can get back to playing a style of football that may help us do something. We need quality in the door as soon as possible, especially a 30-plus goal striker a season. I think if you've got anyone that's scored 30 goals at another club, they will be outpriced Celtic's capacity, unless it's 30 goals in League 2 or something like that. Will mostly be loans, but if they do the job, who cares? Need a couple of good strikers. Bruni's favourite for the Aberdeen job. It's Baltic in London. It's cold here today. There is a really cold wind. It's an Arctic wind that's hit us, but it's still sunny. And the storm Francis has disappeared. We need fresh blood and players. Very good upcoming strikers who can hit the back of the net. Martin is very clever. I wouldn't be surprised if that little slip was accidentally on purpose. Very mischievous you could be at that age, can't you? You can be very mischievous. And maybe this was Martin O'Neill kind of hanging and putting pressure indirectly on Daizen Maeda. Do you know, I'm not going to take any nonsense, son. If you want away, you go now. If you want to stay, then fine, you knuckle down and you start producing the goods. But ultimately, Martin O'Neill says, I will speak to his agent this week to clarify, and I hope to have an update with you on Friday. It's -10 in Oslo. Jesus, that's like a 23, 24 degree turnaround from where I am. Everyone talking about a big striker, big 6'9" defender. -8 this morning in the New Forest. Get Maloney on the pitch. Well, we can't do that, but let's talk about it tonight. We'll be going live at 8 p.m. Celtic Park time tonight, and we'll dissect a bit more of what Martin O'Neill had to say. But as far as he's concerned today, the main talking points from Martin O'Neill today is the fact that Martin O'Neill will rely on his assistant coaches, Sean Maloney and Mark Fotheringham, to help him secure reinforcements. He did say with a cheeky little smile on his face, he said, if the players are rubbish that come in, I'll blame Fozzie and Maloney. If the players that come in do absolutely fantastic and great, I'll take all the plaudits. Asked about the timeline on him coming back, asked about his how his family felt. He said his daughters were over the moon. He said his wife turned around to him once again and said, "You're going to fuck this up." She still denies that she said it the first time. But Martin O'Neill reassured us. Yes, Martin O'Neill reassured us that she did say it. And like all women, they'll deny it till they're blue in the face. Anyway, going forward, Martin O'Neill says Sean, for instance, has been working in the background on certain things. I think he would get to know some players. Eventually, I would like to be sitting here in front of you and saying, listen, these are all my choice. That's what I would really like to do. I've got a bit of time. I need to go and watch some players personally for 90 minutes. Does that mean that Martin O'Neill is going to buy Scottish players playing in Scotland? Will he be going to Hibs to watch a Hibs game? Watch out. That's one to watch for over the next couple of weeks. Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world. I shall see you tonight at around about 8 p.m. Celtic Park time. And who'd have thought Daizen was going to Wolfsburg? Unbelievable, isn't it? Just no wonder he took the hump.